So, good morning, everyone, and welcome to this webinar on e-commerce and mobile strategies for Infor M3 customers. This webinar today, our intention here today is that we will hopefully give you some food for thought, some insights in what other Infor M3 customers are doing, what we at LeanSwift are doing when it comes to helping our customers digitize their business processes. So, my name is Johan Axelsson. I'll be your guide through today's webinar. We got a lot of topics to cover. So we're not going to dive into a lot of details, but again, today's webinar is kind of a smorgasbord of different activities and different solutions that we've been working with other Infor M3 customers to implement. So hopefully this is going to be a little bit food for thought. So when looking at these topics today, there's a lot of you out there, a lot of M3 customers are, I tell you, the majority of M3 customers are focusing more B2B than B2C. So, but when looking at B2B, you might think that, well, all of this is not really applicable to us because we're not really targeting consumers or focusing consumers. What we're seeing and what we're doing with M3 customers is really taking a lot of the experiences from B2C and bringing that to the B2B arena. And it's pretty given because when you look at your customers today, your customers are today used, but when they act as individuals, as consumers, they go to Amazon, they go to eBay, they shop online, and they are used to having a user experience. And then when they come to work and they would like to place an order with you guys, well, they expect the same type of transparency in the supply chain. They expect at least the same user experience that they're used to when shopping on Amazon. So I would say when we're comparing to where this industry was 15 years ago when we started talking about, or back in the .com era when we started talking about digitizing the business processes, the users on the other end, they were not ready. But today, I would say it's the opposite. Everyone is ready and they are expecting and demanding the Amazon type of experience from you guys as well. So when we looking at today, so that's why we want to touch a little bit about inbound marketing and lead nurturing and how this ties into, regardless if you're not running B2B or B2C. We're going to talk about how we're going to digitize the customer service without alienating your customers, because we still want to have you still want to have a very personal experience. What are we doing in product lifecycle management? What are the different options? What are other M3 customers doing when it comes to multi-channel? Is this something that would be of interest for you guys? How does a multi-channel differ from omni-channel? What are punch-out solutions? And what is if we look at the transitioning customers from e-commerce to web EDI versus EDI, what are the pros and cons and what is our experiences? So those are the topics of today. Anything that we do here is, of course, also applicable to mobile. So anything and everything we do needs to be mobile ready. But if we're looking at why are we doing this? So when everyone's been talking about digital transformation now for the past 4 or 5 years, what does it all come down to? Well, it's really just about efficiency. So we need to deploy the tools that currently are available to increase our informational efficiency, just like we in the past 150 years been improving our physical efficiency. And there's a couple of different ways of doing this. We've been talking about digital evolution versus digital revolution. So someone like Uber comes in and using technology to really change an entire industry. Most of our customers, most of Infor M3 customers are not going to change their industry, but we definitely need to look at what has Amazon been doing. How did they really become the most valuable company in the world? Well, it's through digital evolution. So it's not rocket science. It's just some really key steps. And one of the most important things that Amazon has been doing, and this is something that when looking at this, comparing this to what you are doing with your customers, how you're treating your customers, Amazon's key to success is, I would say, twofold. Number one, they made it easy for their customers to do business with them. So that includes one-click checkout. So when you go place an order with Amazon today, I mean, if you already have your account set up, you're an Amazon Prime member, one click and you've checked out. So if you compare this to your customers, how many clicks do you require your customers to do before they can complete their order? The other piece is that they took full responsibility for the entire supply chain from start to finish, which means that everything is integrated. And when we're working with our customers, I think this is the number one thing as well, that the front end and the back end needs to be tightly integrated. So we have full transparency back into the package has been shipped, the package has been delivered, full traceability all the way to the delivery is on the doorstep or on the dock for the goods receiving for your customers. So just to give you an idea of, and this is coming back to Amazon is kind of setting the bar for where the rest of us needs to be. And just to show you kind of how big of an impact Amazon has on primarily the US user experience, the US market. I think these numbers are kind of interesting, that 44% of the US households own a gun, 49% still have a landline, and 51% go to church, and 63% of US households are Amazon Prime members. So if you think of these, well, it's pretty likely that your customers are Prime members. It's pretty likely that your customers are expecting the same type of user experience and transparency in the supply chain when they want to do business with you, as they are doing with Amazon. So that's setting the bar. So what do we now do with what are the different options that our customers are doing when it comes to working with inbound marketing and lead nurturing? Oh, same thing here, that when working with B2C, we're taking this into the B2B arena as well. So when working with your customers, any type of communication that you do with your customers really need to have the same type of customer segmentation as when we're targeting B2C. So all your customers, they don't have the same need. They don't have the same need of information. If you do any reach out and marketing as well, remember now, it all comes down to how do we make it easier for your customers to do business with you? Well, some of your customers going to have one requirement and other customers going to have another requirement. So there's not one size fits all. So when looking at doing business with you, switching over to some live websites, and just want to highlight, I'm not going to go in and run this scenario right now, but one of our Infor M3 customers, when they want to make it easy for their customers to do business with them, well, they don't want to have a traditional Amazon experience. We got two different options. I got a quick order, which is like an order sheet. So just filling out the order sheets. I'm going to have 2 pallets of this. I'm going to have 3 pallets of that. I'm going to have 4 boxes of this order, just a quick order sheet, or doing an order upload, doing a CSV upload order. So a customer portal and e-commerce experience does not have to look exactly, or more of like an Amazon experience where you have categories and subcategories, and within the subcategories, different products. That's one way of doing it, but it's not the only way of doing it. So we need to cater to different customer segments with different user experience. And the same thing applies when it comes to then your marketing and lead nurturing. So how do you how do you segment your customers to drive your customer communication? Doing this, there's a lot of different tools available that tied into your CRM system, whichever CRM system you're using. Marketo or HubSpot's inbound marketing are some really good tools where we're now tying together your customer portal with your CRM system and your CRM system with your inbound marketing tool. And doing this, we have customers today that we synchronize all the orders from the customer, from M3 to the customer portal to the CRM system. So when they are using marketing communication, we can target a message to customers that purchase this particular product, or after placing this order, any customers that also has purchased this order now typically also purchase these other products. So it could be both transactional emails, and it can also be marketing emails, and giving your marketing department the tools to really work with different customer segments. Another just food for thought, we have some customers that do a lot of work moving from B2B also into B2C. When they're moving into B2C, also working with affiliate marketing. So one of our customers now, they got 20% of the revenue coming from affiliate marketing. And one of the things that they've been highlighting is this: if you don't work this channel as well, you're missing out on a lot of revenue. Applicable for customers that are definitely into the B2C arena instead of B2B. So what does it look like? Well, when it comes to B2C versus B2B, I've already mentioned this now that we could have a B2C experience with the Amazon type of experience. We could have another B2B. Typically, B2B has some other requirements, other functionality, but it doesn't have to be any different. So this site, for instance, now caters both to B2C and to B2B. So depending on who I am, what I'm logging in, where Bargain Ellingson now, they are selling products to restaurants and bars, but they also sell it to end consumers. So it doesn't really matter if we don't have two different websites for consumers versus businesses. Other customers, if we look at alternative apparel, for instance, they have one B2C site. So here's the B2C site, but also separating, so slightly different functionality. So for B2B, if I go to the wholesale login, we have two different websites, one for B2C and one for B2B. But the work that is being done behind the scenes, the product information, the look and feel, and the user experience is very very similar. So we're reusing a lot of the back-end work to do the product presentations, the product information. For Bargain, it's a separate now. It's one site that caters to both B2C and B2B. So it could be the same, it could be different URLs, but we still could combine behind the scenes a lot of the work. So depending on who you're targeting, could also be Augusta Sportswear having different brands. So with using Augusta Active is one B2C site. Augusta Sportswear, go to the main site that is targeted for B2B with multiple different brands, or having brand specific B2C site. So it's not one size fits all. We can combine this depending on your user experience. So what are the key things when we're digitizing? We want to digitize the customer service. Well, thinking again now of there's different segmentation. So there needs to be a different user experience depending on what the customer wants to do. If it's B2B, they want to get in there, they want to place the order, and they want to get out as quickly as possible. So minimal number of clicks. When it comes to B2C, typically are more targeted to have more images, more reviews. What are other customers purchasing? What are other customers thinking about these typical products? When it comes to B2B, really key to have transparency in the supply chain, be able to show the available inventory in real time. I want to know before I place the order when I'm going to get this. What is the shipping cost going to be, if any? So having real-time integration to shipping, to calculating shipping costs, access to documents directly, and a few clicks to orders. And one example that I like to highlight is a major shoe distributor where they had a lot of their customers coming in now, distributors placing the orders on the customer portal, and they were tracking now if they were doing this on the desktop or on the mobile device. And they had a customer that used to use the desktop. All of a sudden, they saw an e-commerce order coming in on 125,000 euros on a mobile device. And if you think about this, you're ordering shoes as a shoe distributor. I'm placing this order for 20 different stores, and I want to order shoes for 125,000 euros. That's a lot of shoes. So they called this guy and asked him, well, so what? How come we saw that you were using your desktop and now you use your mobile device? I mean, how come? Well, what was the reason for now switching to your mobile? And he goes, well, I was downstairs. So it was more convenient for him to use his mobile device than to walk upstairs and log in on his desktop. So how many clicks does it take you to designing the user experience so you really can place that many, in order for that many shoes, to multiple different stores on a mobile device, and still making it convenient enough not to switch to a desktop? I think that's a really success story when it comes to designing the user experience for a mobile device to begin with. So looking at some of this functionality, again, switching back to showcasing some of our customers that are live. So this is a customer that is catering to customers in Scandinavia, got different sites in different languages, selling drills. So if I would like to select a drill, I'm doing a filtering, selecting the length. Their customer knows that if I'm selecting a P, this means that I would like to drill into steel. I would like to drill into cast iron. So if I'm selecting drilling into cast iron, out of the 40,000 SKUs, I'm now down to just one particular SKU. And as I'm looking at this particular SKU, we're going into M3, and you see that this was empty when I first opened this up. And so here's the available inventory from M3 in real time. And if I don't have available inventory for this particular SKU, for instance, then we're looking at the lead time in M3. So it's 1 to 2 weeks lead time. So given catering to the customers, we're having transparency or showcasing what is available. If I don't have available, when am I going to get it? So I can still place an order for 5 of these and knowing how long it's going to take for me to get this delivered. So these are some of the things that are critical. When it comes to documents, integration to Infor's document archive. So one of our customers, Berkshire, one of the key things for them working with clean room supplies is that they have customers that would like to have access to product data sheets, to safety data sheets, and being able to have traceability. This could be generic information, or it could be customer-specific information, or it could even be lot number-specific information. So I'm looking for a document that is related to my lot number. I purchased something with this particular lot number. I can directly go to the website and download a certificate of sterility that is tied to that particular lot number that I got a delivery from. So for your customers, if your customers have a need of accessing some type of documentation, regardless of if it's customer specific, it's order specific, it's lot number specific or product specific, just giving your customer access to anything and everything they need with as few clicks as possible. That's really digitizing your customer service. So they don't have to call customer service. Well, if they would like to call customer service, as soon as Berkshire, typically when I log in, Kirsten is here ready to have a communication with me and chat. So they enable the live chat when customer service is available. If the customer service is not there, this automatically turns into an email conversation as well. So that's another just example of, well, this could also be tailored. So if you have a key account manager, it's going to be a picture of the key account manager instead of Kirsten and being the right person, assuming that the key account manager is available. So product lifecycle management. A lot of the sites that you've seen that I'm showcasing now, they're all based on Magento. Magento has a built-in product information management systems or a product lifecycle management. There are other PIM systems, product information management systems, that have additional functionality. InRiver is one of them that some of our customers are using. Channel Advisor is the second one that some of our customers are using, depending on the need. So if you now have multiple different targets that you need to cater to, Channel Advisor, for instance, is really focusing being able to present this information on multiple different channels. If I would like to publish my products on Amazon, on eBay, on Walmart and on Bing and Google. So Channel Advisor then makes it possible for us to manage all the product information and have multiple different feeds going out of Channel Advisor. InRiver is another good PIM system where we have some customers using this that also would like to publish product information to their distributors. So if your distributors now would like to have, as soon as you're adding any products, that feed should automatically go to your distributors and automatically update their websites, their e-commerce sites, so with minimal number of impact. And remember the first page here, or the first site with the farmer, where we just need to eliminate, we need to be more efficient. So eliminate any manual work and manual transactions. But most of our customers, they manage the products in Magento, and that works fine as long as you don't have other multiple different sources that you'd like to feed into. So when it comes to presenting our products, on selling our products on Amazon, eBay, and Walmart, and other sources, you might think, well, that's not really for us. We're not, we're B2B only. Well, if you remember that 66% of US households are on Amazon, there's a lot of people today that are looking at products on Amazon before even Googling it. So this means that a lot of our customers now, they would like their products to be on Amazon, if not for selling on Amazon. Augusta Sportswear, women. So Augusta, well, they do sell on Amazon, but you don't have to sell on Amazon. We have a lot of customers now that present the products on Amazon just as branding. And if you don't present your product on Amazon, well, one of your distributors will do that, and they might not do the same. They might not present the products the same way that you would like to do this. So if you would really like to showcase all the different colors and sizes that you have available, we have customers again that do this for branding purposes just as much as actually selling on the site. But if you do sell on the site, and we have a number of customers that do this, again, we've got this automated, so the order that is placed on Amazon comes from Amazon via Channel Advisor into Magento, from Magento into M3, so we can pick, pack, and ship this order completely touchless. And with, again, Augusta Sportswear, I think is a leader in this arena where over 70% of the orders, 75% of the orders now are completely touchless. What would that mean for you guys if 70% of your orders that are coming in were touchless? And while doing this, so when launching the site for Deco, in the first year after launching the site, they moved 20% of the order volume to the customer self-service sites. And the interesting part was, when doing this, the feedback that they received from their customers was, thank you for improving customer service. Now I have access to information directly on the website. I can place my order directly on the website. I have full transparency. So while we eliminated 20% of the manual work, the customers experience this as actually improving customer service. And again, adding chat functionality, communication functionality. So it's not even if you're thinking that it's not really for me, for us to sell here, well, think about your branding for those of you that do have your own brand to protect. So how does this multi-channel then compare to the omni-channel? Well, we can publish and sell our products, multiple different channels. But if you're adding the omni-channel requirements, those of our customers that do have their own storefronts, you really want to have that seamless experience for the customer. So the customer, they can place the order on the web, you get a delivery, shipped at home, you take that delivery, you go back to the store, you do a return in the store. As you're walking out of the store, you would like to have a customer credit, and using that credit to go on your mobile and place that order and buy another product that might not be available in this store. So slightly different requirements, and typically tying the CRM system in, tying the point of sale systems into one single solution, and tying loyalty programs in, or that type of functionality that we've been implementing when it comes to omnichannel. So depending on what type of product, what type of business you're driving. Punch out solutions. How do we make it easy for our customers to do business with you? Well, one of the key things that we sometimes hear is that, well, our customers are not going to go to our website and place the order because, well, they have their own system. So why would they do that? They just want to cut a PO, right? And send the PO over to you. Well, Iconics, another Infor M3 customers producing labels, one of the key things they wanted to do was provide access for their customers to be able to find the products. So if I'm going to go to my shop Iconics, I would like to have access to a product catalog. So view this as my product catalog. I can go here, I can find the products, I can search and filter and find exactly that product that I'm looking for. Once I've found my product, searching for my particular cash register, then I'm adding this to the cart, but instead of checking out, I will actually use a punch out functionality that takes that shopping cart, transfers the shopping cart over to my SAP system, creates a purchase order. Now I can complete the purchase order and send the purchase order in via an EDI transaction. So it still gives me customer information. So if I would in my SAP would like to create a PO, well, if I don't know which exactly the SKU number, which product I'm going to shop, this is another way of just making it easy for your customers to do business with you. So they don't complete the transaction here, and if you have your approval process for the purchase order approvals, etc., all of that still is managed with the traditional PO process in your backend system. So another way that you can take this to a next step of saying, well, it could be e-commerce, it's web EDI functionality or the EDI functionality. Well, what we've typically seeing is if we can move where we're moving our customers from placing an order via fax or email, phone calls to customer self-service, the order volume increases, the total order value and order volume are increasing. If we move them then from e-commerce to EDI, we typically see an additional increase in just customer loyalty, transaction volume. So taking your customers, if you're any customer now that places an order manually, we're looking at moving them into a customer self-service portal that will increase your sales. It will increase your customer loyalty, just because if it's so easy for your customers to do business with you, why should they go somewhere else? It's not all about the price. Quite often, it's just about making it easier to do business with you. So some of the functionality now, again, I mentioned that this needs to be a seamless transaction, touchless transactions. So when we look at the functionality where we're really extending your core M3 functionality to a customer portal, we are catering to a customer. We can create customers, synchronize address information so your customers can maintain their address information themselves, updating M3 directly. Product synchronization, you're adding products in M3, we're synchronizing those to the storefront. Price synchronization, real-time customer. So if your customer has customer-specific pricing, this is just an extended user interface to M3. Managing, if you do have marketing campaigns, so we can have coupons that can be serialized, so they can only use it once. They can be any type of marketing drive which would generate a line discount or an order total discount. Inventory synchronizations, when we're creating the sales orders, making sure we're adding all the charges so your sales statistics in M3 is correct. Managing, separating freight costs, gift wrapping, should I have ship completes or do I accept partial orders, back orders, etc. Order status synchronization, of course, to keep your customers informed, and that status can also drive transactional emails if you would like to say, hey, your order is being picked in the warehouse right now. John Doe has just released the package. It's on the dock and it was picked up now. I have a tracking number on it. Here's the tracking number. So keeping your customers informed all the way. And once when we pick, packed, and ship the order, going back to my account, and on my account, I can now look up my order statistics my order history and my invoice history, my shipping history. And if I go to my invoices and look up my invoice information, that invoice information now can either be displayed as a directly as in the HTML, or we're tying this also directly into the document archive. So if I do view as a PDF, we're actually going to the document archive and pulling up any invoice copies. So it could be, we talked about transactional emails or tied to lot number, but any type of information now being presented to your customers directly. So that's just the tip of the iceberg. But the key message at the end of the day, all of this needs to be a seamless, touchless integration to your M3 system. So we had a lot of topics to cover. Try to run through this in 30 minutes and just give you a little bit of food for thought. So we're looking forward to working with you guys. Let me know if you have any questions, and don't hesitate to reach out, and we'll looking forward to help you digitize your business processes. So thanks for tuning in. Reach out with any questions, and again, all of you will get a link to this webinar so you can share it with your colleagues. And let me see if we have any questions. Yeah, so we have one question. Technically, how does the eConnect talk to 13.4? Yeah, good question. We do have, when it comes to the integration, the eConnect now is a standardized product. So we have Infor M3 customers. We actually have some customers that still run MoveX, RPG, the old green screen stuff, and then every version from that up to M3 7.1, 10.1, 13.1. So the connectivity currently is using M3 APIs on the backend side. We also, part of this connectivity, part of eConnect as a product, means that we take full responsibility of making sure we're compliant with future versions of Infor M3. So that means our new version of eConnect now is replacing, instead of doing M3 API calls, we're using Ion API calls, because when it comes to the M3, the multi-tenant version, the cloud version, then we no longer have direct access to the M3 API calls. So if you're on-premise, we do API calls. If you're multi-tenant cloud, we use Ion APIs. Same thing when it comes to Magento. Magento continuously comes out with new versions. We have customers on Magento 1, all the different versions, 1.4 up to 1.9. Same thing, and then go into Magento 2. So with eConnect, you can rest assured that you have future compatibility both on the M3 side and on new versions of Magento. And we'd be happy to continue that conversation and dive into a lot of details about functionality availability and also technical details. So again, thanks for your time. Looking forward to continue the discussion, and have a good day. Thanks all.